Hi. So I have a story for you, and today I went to the store and I met a young lady who I had a conversation with, and and I normally go to this. Most of my friends I meet in the store. I meet a lot of people in the store. When I was new in the city, I learned that all I can do is just the only place, because I go to church and I come home and I work from home. So I'm not able to really go out there and really make a lot of friends. So store is most of my friends I met in the store. And I learned that when you have a smile on your face, because having a smile on your face is important, because a lot of us we're going through problems, but our resting face has changed into something so serious that we turn people away. And I tell young women that always watch your resting face. Your resting face is the face when you don't consciously know, like if you're absent-minded or if you're looking at something. How is your face? Sad? Or when you're absent-minded, how does your face look? And I had to learn to put a good resting face, because for years when I went through domestic violence, I was sad, and being it was showing. Everybody used to tell me, you look mad, you look sad. So I literally learned how to consciously put my face to a smiling face. I do it consciously. Like if you see me smile, I know I'm smiling. I consciously tell myself I need to smile, because it doesn't come naturally. My mom has a very serious face all the time. My sister is the same way, you know. Yeah, and me, but I literally had to work my muscles up and just learn how to smile. It's a good thing. I remember one time, I had my what do you call it? I had a stepson one time, my previous marriage, and I remember he came to tell me one time that, hey, Miss Lillian, why do people don't want to sit next to me during my lunch? He was 14, and I said, oh my God, I knew my stepson. I knew he was such a serious guy, never smiled, and it was 1% blacks in that school. So I told her, you like the only black in the school. And you are so serious that people fear you. Most of the kids may fear you. I said, you need to have a smile on your face. And he did. And after that, he started having friends, people inviting him. Sometimes when you have a face that looks so serious, people avoid you. Not because they're scared of you, or they just think you're mad at something. Some people say you always look mad. So anyway, enough about that. So always have a smiling face, so that so people you become approachable. Anyway, I met this lady, of course, because of my smiley face. I approached her and I started talking to her, and approached her because I went to her basket and I saw her basket and I said, oh my God, she had bought, what was that? She had bought some kind of, I don't know if it was quail or whatever, and I asked her how she cooked it, and she was gonna cook it, and she explained it to me, and we started having a conversation. I mean, I told her about myself. I was a pastor's wife, and just told her a little bit about myself, and she told me that she had just been from prison. And even when she said it, I think she was expecting a reaction from me. I said, oh, okay. And that I could tell that surprised her. She said, yeah, I'm from prison. And she started talking about how she's angry about what has been going on. She can't she's not been having a hard time finding a job, how much life she had lost being in prison for, I think, 13 years. And she just kept on talking about the negatives of the things that are going on right now in her life. And my reaction to her was like, man, at least you're free. And I told her, you still have an opportunity. But I could tell, even though I was trying to encourage her, she kept on going back to being angry and mad at what had been going on in her life. So no matter what I said, I wasn't getting to her. And I wasn't really trying. I was just, you know, kind of like just listening to her. Sometimes just listen to people, and I just listened to her, and we finished talking, and she left. And actually, I didn't even get her number. And the reason why I didn't get her number is that, I mean, she was so angry. Even the more she was talking about it, I could tell that it was killing her. It was hurting her. It was making her, you know, so it had changed. I could tell her, even her facial, everything had changed when she was talking about her life and how mad she was. And after she left, I felt like, man, I could have helped. I didn't take her number. Normally, I exchange numbers with people, and I realized I could have exchanged numbers with her, but she had gone. But so you see how, to me, I was feeling like, man, I know you're, and I kept trying to tell her, do you remember where you were a few months ago? You were in prison praying to be free, and now you're free, and all you're doing out here is walking in anger and mad as hell. So I was like, man, I wanted her to just count her blessings. She's out here, even though she's having a hard time finding a job. She may not find the job she wants immediately, but she's out here, you know. And but she couldn't see it, and I felt like, man, it's just like us. Whenever we go through stuff, we go through our abuse, you know, you go through domestic abuse, or you go through a bad marriage, or you go through some bad things that happen in your life, and you carry it with you every time. You know, you miss your blessing, because that lady actually didn't realize that even I could have helped her. You know, I really, whether it's with her resume, I know how to do those kind of stuff, that I could have, I have the dress for success. I could have easily had her come and get free clothes and all that stuff. But because every time I tried to talk, it's her anger that and the more I was trying to kind of move past the anger, past the bad thing, which I wanted her to actually talk about it, because the more she talks about it, the more she'll get over it. I still felt like, okay, there was nothing I could do. And just what I'm trying with this story, what I'm trying to go to is that when things have happened, you've served your time, you're forgiven. It is what it is. It's happened. The milk spilled. You have to start over, you know, and it's okay to start over. It's not a bad thing to start over. So I wanted her, and I started doing research, because I said, man, I just need to look up something, what God says about starting over. And I said, if we confess our sins, He is faithful and just to forgive us. He is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. If we say that we have not sinned, we make Him a liar, and His word is not in us. And God is faithful. The word says in 1 John 1, chapter 1, verse 5 through 10. So even though I wanted her to know that she may have done some bad things and gone to prison, but now she's not in prison anymore. She was still imprisoning herself, you know. And I felt like I wish she would, maybe she need time, which was now a few months after, like almost 9 months. You're still feeling that way and feeling anger that it takes away from you. The first thing that comes out of your mouth is that pain of having been in prison. I wanted her to realize that, to me, and when I was reading, it says David, let me see here, consider David, who had someone's husband killed so he could marry another woman. Imagine that kind of sin, you know. And David knew he had done wrong, and he confessed and asked for forgiveness. He faced the consequences of his he faced the consequences of his forgiven sin. But look at the outcome. He gave birth to Solomon. You see, he gave birth to Solomon. So even though you things have happened, you've done something bad in your life, you know, God has forgiven you. if you've confessed your sin and God has forgiven you, you have to move on, you know, because if you're bitter and angry, you have to change your everything. That I was reading, actually there was something I saw the other day. It says changing a test to a testimony. I have changed my test, whatever I went through, to a testimony right now. And I was hoping that you know, somebody like her can change that into a more positive thing. And you see, when you are angry, you're blinded to a lot. You can't see. Like, she was blinded from seeing that all I wanted to do was be your friend. I didn't care if you were from prison, you know, if you've served your time. That really didn't matter to me, you know. So there was no need for her to lead her life in depression and despair. God has already forgiven her. Even though she feels that she had sinned, she needed to move on with her life. You know, that's what I see. You know, and she felt so unuseful. This lady felt very unuseful. You know, she felt useless, you know. There was no need for her to feel that way. She felt so unuseful, but what she did not know is that she had served her time. And I wanted to remind her that about David, you know, but there was no time for that. So all I want to tell you is that we all have things we've gone through. We've sinned. Nobody is perfect. And just don't let whatever you've gone through blind you from seeing good things. So that is my inspiration for today. Please subscribe so that you can at least not miss these videos when I put them there. You all have a good day. Thank you. This is Lillian Stevens. Subscribe so you don't miss my videos. Bye.